So the management and control of nitrosamine is a matter of great concern as far as the safety of human being is concerned, because they are found to be a probable human carcinogens. And not only that, they are also declared a group class of compounds which are highly potent and called as a cohort of concern. So if you look at the limit, the acceptable intake of nitrosamine as published by FDA, you will find that most of them have a limit of around 26.5 nanogram per day. So in this presentation, let us understand how one can control the formation of nitrosamine at its very first step. So let us begin with the presentation now. So these are the 10 points that we are going to walk through, which will help us, guide us in controlling the formation of nitrosamine. So before we begin our presentation on all these 10 points, let us first understand, why and how this nitrosamine impurities gets formed. Okay, and it requires to have a either secondary, tertiary or quaternary amine uh, available. This is first important ingredient. Second important ingredient to form nitrosamine is the availability of nitrosating agent. Now, what is meant by nitrosating agent? Now, it is a chemical compound which can introduce N double bond O, and the examples of such kind of compounds are here, right? So it can be sodium nitrite, tertiary butyl nitrite, nitrous acid, nitric oxide, and many more. The third important requirement for formation of nitrosamine is the availability of acidic environment. So in case if you have the combination of these three, first is what? The secondary, tertiary or quaternary amine. The second one is availability of nitrosating agent like sodium nitrite or nitrous acid. And third one is the availability of acidic pH. So in case if you have these three conditions available, then you can get the possibility of formation of nitrosamines. So let us now begin with our core area of the presentation on controlling the formation of nitrosamine. The point number one is conduct the supplier's qualification. So it is very important for you to understand, whatever raw materials, APIs, excipients you are procuring, are they free from what, right? So here are four different points that you must look into. So check for potential nitrite impurities across excipient, raw material or the API that you are getting in, because the nitrite impurities like sodium nitrite is one of the nitrosating agent and which can trigger the formation of nitrosamine. So in case if you can mitigate the availability of such kind of nitrite impurities, you will probably mitigate the formation of the nitrosamines. So these are the few examples of excipient I come across which contain the nitrites like sodium starch glycolate, cross carmelo-sodium, pre-gelatinized starch, PVP, cross PVP, PVP lactose. So these are the few very commonly used excipient found containing nitrites at ppm level. So ask your supplier vendor, what is the content of nitrites into your excipient. The second point is check for potential amine impurities across excipient, raw material or the APIs. This is the second important ingredient required for formation of nitrosamine. So in case if there are no amines available as an impurities, your chance of formation of nitrosamine will further get minimized. The third important is what? Check for potential nitrosamine cross contamination. So what is the GMP environment your supplier or vendor is following so that there will be no chance of cross contamination with the nitrosamines. And the fourth point is, right, always have the backup control strategies. You can set the suitable specification for these amines, nitrosating agents or nitrosamines into a source materials so that you will be confident enough that whatever material you are getting in, is suitable for your use and will not trigger the formation of nitrosamine. Right? It is very important. The point number two is antioxidant. So few study also found that the antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E, they found inhibit the formation of NDSRIs. What is my NDSRIs? Now these are the nitrosamine drug substance related impurities. So the drug substance can form the nitrosamine impurities, but in case of presence of antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E, the formation of NDSRI get inhibited. So these are the few examples of NDRIs, that N-nitroso-irbisartan, N-nitroso-vernicillin, and N-nitroso-phenylhydrazine. So in case if a formulation contain antioxidants, great. You have a the mitigation plan in your strategies. Or if you are developing a new formulation, you can think of including antioxidant as a part of your strategy. Point number three, maintain basic or neutral environment. So if you look at the very first important point, how nitrosamine get formed, the acidic pH is one of the prerequisite. So if you maintain the basic pH, right, then the chances of nitrosamine formation will get minimized. And hence try to understand, in case if you can include the alkalizing agents like sodium bicarbonate, you can always do that, or sodium hydroxide, you can always do that, so that in case if there is a nitrosetting agent amines available, still you will be away from generating nitrosamines into your formulation. Then fourth point is avoid carryover of nitrosetting agent or amines to the next step. Now this is especially applicable for the API synthesis organizations. In case if you are adding these reagents at the two different stages, but make sure that they are not coming at a place, so that you will be getting the nitrosamine formation. So in case if there is amine added, but make sure that it is not getting carried forward to the step where nitrosetting agent like nitrous acid is getting added, so that you will be free of the nitrosamine formation. Point number fifth is avoid elevated temperatures, right? Elevated temperature also helps in formation of nitrosamines. And sometimes, in case if your solvents or raw materials gives away the amine impurities, in case of like N dimethylformamide, if heated at elevated temperature, can form the dimethylamine, which is a secondary amine. So in case if there is a nitrosetting agent available, you can get a risk of formation of nitrosamine impurities. So avoid elevated temperature if possible. Then avoid amines nitrosetting agent as an impurities. So few of the excipients, they may contain amines or nitrosetting agent as their impurities. So it is found that the triethylamine contain dipropylamine and isopropyl ethylamine as impurities. So these impurities are secondary amines. So have a specification or control on such secondary amines. They may contain dimethylamine. Sodium nitrite is known impurity in sodium azide. See, if you are using sodium azide, right, understand the level of sodium nitrite into it, because sodium nitrite is a nitrosetting agent. Similarly, the potassium nitrate contain nitrite impurities. So understand your raw material excipients very critically as per as the level of amines and nitrosetting agents are concerned. Point number 7, avoid commingling of recovered solvent. It is very common practice followed in API synthesis that the recovered solvent is used in the next manufacturing of the batch. But it is always recommended to not commingle, the different solvents, right, from the different route of synthesis. Like if you have a 10 products, 10 APIs using isopropyl alcohol. So out of that 10 API, one API IPA, one IPA isopropyl alcohol may contain amine, and second or third API, its spent isopropyl alcohol may contain nitrosetting agent. So if we commingle all these IPAs, right, isopropyl alcohols from all different syntheses, you may increase the risk of formation of nitrosamine because you get amine from one route and nitrosetting agent from the another route. So avoid the commingling of the recovered solvents. Then use validated control process of recovery of solvent, reagent, catalyst at third party. Many times the API manufacturer they outsource solvent recovery to the third parties. But please make sure that what is the control strategies, whether the right operating procedures, standard operating procedures are followed and implemented at the third parties. It can be about the maintenance of the temperature, maintenance of the pH. Use bases other than secondary, tertiary, or quaternary amines. What is the primary reason for formation of nitrosamine? Is the availability of secondary, tertiary, quaternary amines. So try to avoid as much as those amines, right? And you can use the primary amines in case if you really wanted to use the amines, because the primary amines, can react with nitrosetting agent to form highly reactive unstable diazonium ions, which often decompose to release molecular nitrogen, and hence it will not form the nitrosamines. So in case if you cannot avoid amines, try to use primary amines, which will not result into nitrosamine impurity. And the last but not the least, avoid nitrocellulose laminated blister. Now this is for the finished product packaging, and this nitrocellulose printing primer, you know, may react with amines in the printing ink to generate nitrosamine. So it is very important to understand the composition of your printing material as well. So these are the 10 important points. I hope this will help you to define your nitrosamine control strategies. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will meet you soon with such kind of useful and informative videos. Till then, take care and bye bye. See you soon.